Still got a few things, but
Awesome.
that's the wall.
Yeah.
Finish the back 2 bedrooms.
Yep. Is it electrical?
There's 19 years.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely set.
Yeah. And that's back bathroom. And the full bath's over right there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Is that good foundation?
It looks pretty nice on the
Oh, yeah.
outside. Got a good build.
You can see with the last.
Yeah.
It's smooth. I've never sold a house before, so it really, it surprised me actually how smooth it was.
Really?
Yeah, the trust and honesty. Very professional, very trusting, both ways.
Yeah.
It was just all awesome experience, man. I believed it was going to happen, but then again, when it happened, with like that relief, that like, wow, yeah, it actually happened.
Yeah.
Just talk to each other.
All right. So, not much. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the process on how we bought your house and kind of just go over that. So, before we bought it, kind of what made you want to sell it and what situation were you in prior to selling it to us?
Well, I knew I was going to be selling it, didn't know who to, and the Lord was lining it all up. So I just prayed, and you called. And that's pretty much how that went.
Were you happy with the decision that you made by selling it to us? And
Yeah, I was always happy with anything that's done in the Lord's name. So I know if I would have let myself get involved with it, it never would have happened.
And how was the process of it? Was it a smooth process?
It was smooth. I've never sold a house before, so it really, it surprised me actually how smooth it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What did you like so much about it, and kind of why was it so smooth for you?
What I liked about it the most was the honesty and the trust.
Yep.
You know, and just the not getting frustrated with stuff. You know.
For sure.
'Cause I'm not the one to get frustrated with
Yeah.
things, you know?
Yeah.
And put a hole in a wall, kind of, you know? I don't do that as much anymore, but
Exactly.
like I used to. But like, no, it was like, it was the trust, man.
Yeah.
It was you know how you like meet somebody, but yet it's not the first time you met,
Exactly.
you know?
You almost like you kind of know that you know them already, or
Yeah, kind of
like why is this a little bit familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the beginning of
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So you thought the process was very smooth and simple?
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about much?
No, really. No, not at all.
No?
It was, well, I'd say there was like, I had a brother that helped me, you know, because I knew that, you know, coming out of that house, getting more and more stuff out of that house, realizing the even worse condition of that house, you know, as I kept
Yeah.
things out, like, wow, you know, and then, you know, just like, man, is it really going to take that much to fix it? And then going into it for myself, or just,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just going to take every bit of
Yeah.
it, you know, like, so just, again, that goes back to the trust and honesty.
Exactly.
Can you walk us through what it was like from the first phone call to the day of close? What that process was like for you?
Yeah.
As far as like when you first met Antonio and I, or kind of what the timeline? If you.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you called. I was
Okay.
walking out of, I was getting in my truck loading some things up for over here at the local thrift store, Teen Challenge thrift store. And I think I asked if I could call you back.
Yeah, you did.
And
Yeah.
That was just, it was,
I remember because there was a time I remember I called you first and then you said you needed a few weeks to talk to your brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And I said, okay, let me follow up with you. And I think it was 2
it
weeks.
was the follow-up call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had sir. Okay, so thank you for squaring that in.
Yeah.
The first call, I wasn't surprised,
Yeah.
you know, but I thought I was going to have to fend off some wolves,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Yep.
So part of that 2 weeks was talking with my brother, counseling with wise counsel, you know, and just spending all the time with the Lord, but just to let that confirmation, like, oh yeah, he's your son, my brother, cool, just get it done, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, the professionalism of like the follow-up, you know, of adhering to that, you know, may our yeses be yeses and our no's
Yep.
be no, you know, and being willing to deal with one's personal little quirks, you know, and things like that. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
You know, it's like, because we all got them.
Yeah.
You know, emotions and all these things. So it was just it was very comforting. It was there was no resistance.
Thank
You know through the whole process. And now, don't get me wrong, I had many, hollering at me like you're my own insurance person.
Yeah.
You know? She was actually a little upset at first. You know,
Yeah.
She was like, "Man, if I knew you were selling it like that, why didn't you offer it to me?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. It was
Yep.
only who the Lord sent, and He didn't send you. Not for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's a kind of deal." But it was just very, very, very professional, very trusting on both ways.
Yeah.
And it was meant to be. It was already done before we even discussed anything.
It was.
Kind of deal.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, hey, man, let's just walk through it.
Exactly.
But, and I don't know, it's the first call to reach out. I think somebody else had reached out before you. It was one person because y'all had, to have y'all saved as the same first
Yeah.
name.
Uh-huh.
But this one was the last name of George. It was like somebody calling me and telling me that, hey, such and such is going to call you at a certain time, at a certain day. And I was like, who are you?
Yeah.
I'm Antonio George. I'm like, who's Antonio George?
Yeah.
And I still don't know who that was.
Yeah.
I just know I was expecting a call from somebody.
And then Antonio George called
And
me.
then, yeah. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Was that one of y'all?
Yeah, it was one of the people that work for us. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, God,
Yeah.
man. So, actually getting that little heads up was wonderful too, and
Thank you.
running it up the
Up the ladder.
line, up
Yeah.
the ladder,
Yep.
So yeah, man, just the willingness to go step by step and have the harder parts of the conversation when needed to have, like
Yes.
the sewer line,
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, speaking of that, like that's how, when you called me that day, that Monday, it was a Monday morning, right?
Yeah.
And I was processing it because my flesh wanted to work with just instantly. Go, all right, 65,000, call good. That's what
Yeah.
my flesh wanted. So I knew that was my flesh.
Exactly.
So I went out on that. Lord led me out on that prayer walk for a few days, or however many days it was, maybe just one or two. Felt like a week or two. But was going around this one property in town, a kind of transition shelter, just doing a prayer walk. It was the third lap going around that's what was on the ground.
Wow. Yeah, so this is the number, actually,
That's the number.
that we bought the property. So we bought the property for $70,700.
Wow.
And that's how he came up with that price, because I told him that there was issues in the sewer line, and there was. Our plumber went out there. He saw there was cracks in the line, and it took a bit to fix it up, but this is what he found when he was walking, and he called me and he said, the Lord told him that this is the number that it needs to be and that we need to buy it at. So we said, okay, and we agreed on it.
Our price.
Yep.
That
And we
was,
came up.
that was it.
Yeah.
It was, and that was that kind of like the Lord kind of like, are you going to compromise?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
We
But-
had to work it out.
Yeah, and then I found one of the brothers, dear brother over here, Mike Porter. We was on his porch talking some of this stuff out, and I told him what I had mentioned to you about checking into my insurance, and I was like, I got that service line connection and stuff, and can take care of it. You know what Mike said?
What'd he say?
He said, no compromise. You're not willing to compromise to go low. It means even more so you can't compromise a penny more. And I was like, whoa, yeah, 7007.
Yeah.
70700. That is
Yeah.
it. So,
We got to-
I forgot to, I don't think I mentioned that to you.
No.
But, oh man, it was just so smooth, man. The whole process. I
Thank
never
you.
thought would be like, I figured it would be like when I bought the house.
Just a whole mess.
Just a mess, man. Yeah, all the time you got to make. I'm an evangelist. So the Lord's had me get comfortable several years ago with two simple rules. Be bold and don't make plans. And all these kind of things were the plans that are required. Got to be here, got to sign this,
Exactly.
got to do that. It's all distraction.
Yeah.
And so I was praying for that not to happen. And it didn't.
How easy was it at closing when we actually bought the property?
That was it was simple. And, went in, I saw I saw the
HUD
deal.
statement. Yep.
Yeah, and I saw what the mortgage company was doing. And I told I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Alyssa.
Yeah. Then I was like, well, wait a second. I just looked it up, and it's lower than that. But I'm also very like standoffish with my mortgage company, you know, and so she schooled me that, well, no, you haven't made those payments, so you know it's actually that's what it's going to be, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know. I'm sure I was a little resistive, a little standoffish on it, but she worked me through it, you know. And now when I went to, I mean, that was so simple. That was a little explanation, you know. Like, all right, cool, you know, sign, done deal, you know. Probably less than 10 minutes, you know. And then when I went to pick up the funds, and she said, man, your mortgage company's a piece of work, you know. And I went, yeah, what they try now? She said they put hazard insurance on your property, and they're trying to get you to pay for it. And it was like $2,400 additional dollars or something like that, you know. And then she said they decided to like deal with it, you know. Okay. And you know, I was so thankful. I was, you know, I went out. I think I told her, I was like, man, just when I was leaving, I was like, thank you for doing that, because I might have flipped out on her, you know. And then with me, you know, I'd be like, whatever. Here's a little piece of my mind, you know. My heart's a little heart's a little hot right now.
Yep.
But I'll just pay to be done with you. Okay. That's how I would handle it, you know. Yeah. But she kind of said, we kind of figured it would be best if we handled it. Yep. You know. Like, thank you. So that was awesome.
Awesome.
You know, it was just awesome experience, man.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Did you get a check that day? Same day?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I waited maybe close to a week to go
cash it,
because she said there was still a little not sure that if they did cancel everything, because they were kind of being pains in the butt.
The mortgage company with the insurance and stuff. Yeah.
And it all. I went and just deposited. And
Did you think how I told you? Well, you did, because I am a man of my word, and we had that trust. But did you believe it when you saw that check for, you know, the amount that we agreed on? How simple it would have been, and how you saw that number? I told you, okay, you're going to get this number at closing. Boom, you got that number.
I believed it was going to happen, but then again, when it happened, with like that relief, that like, wow, yeah, it actually happened. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
like, man, yeah, it's
nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's how. Why can't everything roll like that?
Exactly.
You know. We all got to get in our emotions on everything else. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It was just good job. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. If people want to learn more about what you're doing, the ministry, where can they find you?
Well, we're not publicized.
Okay.
This is a kind of a hidden house.
Okay.
Right now, it's more of the ones come through ministries that know about it, you know, and church congregations and things like that. There's a group in town called Embrace Hope.
Embrace Hope?
Yeah. That's kind of a group of many churches that check their denominations at the door, and it's for the kingdom, you know. Yeah. And then how other ministries, I'm more on the outside on that, but then we kind of, you know, we're all networked, you know, together. Okay. So everybody knows of like resources here and there, and even with the Lawton Police Department. And matter of fact, there's actually these clothes like we need help with like doing laundry. Yeah. And think with all these amount of clothes that are coming in, because there's like let's just say there's about 60 pounds of clothes in the car right now, and there's about another 100 pounds out here plus what y'all saw in there. But the 60 pound is what needs to get cleaned, you know, and we just like can't afford that.
Exactly.
You know, so we reach out. It's always good to reach out. Yeah. You know? So one of the first ones was to the city of Lawton, to the police department, to some brothers on the police department that run the jail.
And how are you guys funding all like the food you guys get and stuff here?
Self-funded. The Lord does it all. Right now, the sale of that house is helping.
Really? Well, we'll make a donation for you guys. We'll get you guys a bunch of food and stuff.
Oh man, thank you, brother. It'll go right to use, man. It goes right in there. Sometimes we go fill the blessing boxes up around town. You know, or go post up in parks with these clothes and some Bibles. That closet with the Praise Jesus on it, that's the ministry closet. That's what we'll do.
We'll have someone come here. Can they drop a bunch of stuff off over here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we'll get that done this week.
Thank you. What a blessing. Thank you, man. But the LPD, like with this really coming online, this is more of a house of prayer, and like this is what's going to happen, is there'll be dedicated. This is going to be more public over here. There'll be dedicated praise and worship nights.
Awesome.
You know, so it'll be kicking off in here, meals prepared there, a fire ring being established out in the backyard. That's
Yep.
what all those planters and all that
Yeah.
landscaping stuff. Which I had no idea how much was over there.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Holy moly, man. You know those 18 by 18?
Yeah.
There was 43 of them back
It's a
there.
lot.
Yeah, man. They're all over here. Woof. But I have like a Monday, because we're here in town, we have quite a few home churches.
Yeah.
You know, all pocketed around. It's just they don't advertise. You know, it's all you. It kind of goes like, hey, you'll always be welcome if you're led.
Yep.
And if you're not led, then you won't even be there.
Nope.
So, you know, the Lord takes care of who comes through.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good.
It's requires lots of patience and
It
that
does for
learning
sure.
of patience, you know,
And time as well too.
yeah, his timing and
Yeah.
everything, you know, like Brother Walker, like, you know, yesterday we had to run down to Wichita Falls and going into a couple places down there, like the thrift stores. I'm going to get emotional. I get kind of emotional sometimes. Walker was walking into the Salvation, we call it Salvation Alleys.
Yeah.
Army Sally.
Yeah.
Sally thrift store, and then they have a faith missions house down there. And when he was like walking in, I was like, this is what he said. He's like, dude, I get to go in there and tell them, hey, I'm back and I got a good story for you, because that's where he come from. He's been off the streets for about a year now.
Oh,
Or
great
about
for
a year
him.
and a half.
Yeah, that's
you know.
awesome.
So, it's one heck of a testimony he gets to
Yeah.
go around and share, man. You
For
know,
sure.
really encourage others. Like it, you know, we know it is possible.
Exactly.
You know, all things are possible with the Lord.
Yep.
Like, it's beautiful. But seeing Walker and his growth and just like it's crazy, man. It's he's led to bring some over, and but I'll be honest with you, the man of God that was over here for the 2 months, that was a difficult one.
Yep.
That was a difficult one. You know, that was very difficult. But it ain't supposed to be easy. You
Nope.
know? It's not supposed to be. Once it gets easy, I question things.
Yeah.
Where's the resistance?
Exactly.
You know. So yeah, no. Eventually, we'll have like a Facebook page and website and all that kind of stuff over here, and it's just
Let us know.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you guys ever need any help with whatever, you have my number, so
Oh, man,
feel free
awesome,
to reach
man.
out.
Thank you for
And
keeping
we'll
that.
definitely make that donation this week
Thank
as
you,
well.
brother. Thank you.
Yep.
And we're not man, it's kind of wild because, man, earlier this week, my mom called and she asked, how can you turn this place into a ministry house so that you can receive donations? And I told Mom, I'm like, I can't. Workstations to help train other men and
Yep.
gifts and, professional skill sets.
Yep.
So it's just all like really come together really quick.
Nice.
It's kind of like after like lifting the feet off
Yeah.
over there last Wednesday or whenever that
Yeah.
was, getting that last little bit out, and then just things breaking loose.
Nice.
you know?
Nice.
So this is like we make like lapel pins and plaques and things like that.
Yeah. Could he?
Is it alright if I record?
Yeah,
Awesome, thank you.
It's our pantry.
Nice.
This is not just available for us, but other folks that are in need can come over and we'll make bags. for 'em.
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna get to the loud dog back here. This is just the kitchen and stuff, washroom.
How many other people live here too?
Right now, just two.
Just
there's,
two?
Yeah, there's two. There's 3 rooms upstairs. Brother Walker's in one. I'm in the other. And
Nice.
the middle room is the transition room for other men.
Nice.
So Brother Brent Martin was over here just for 2 months, and then he was able to move on, transition
Okay.
into another kind of house ministry, but more where he's supposed to be.
Exactly.
So you know how the Lord uses us to stand in the gap.
Yep.
He uses his houses too to stand
Nice.
in the gap. Just a little kind of deal. Take y'all out here.
Big kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, you do got a big
Man.
kitchen.
This door goes backwards, but this is our garage. Everything's getting set up slowly but slowly. We just got these racks. God bless them.
Nice.
Racks, so.
Shoot.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries. And
People
what
can
chains and stuff?
clothes as
This is
needed?
this is for anybody that needs to come and get clothes. We just haven't been able to get the word out yet. We just got the racks last Wednesday.
Very
As a matter of
nice.
fact, pulling those last little things out of the front yard,
Yeah.
we had to go and lay these on top of those things out of the front yard. So it was never we were like pulling up over there, the last was the racks were now.
Wow.
Because all these clothes were in bags in here, you know, like. But it's
Wow.
We've been.
This is awesome, though.
Yeah, thank you. Oh Lord, brother.
Yeah.
You know how there was a ministry, or is a ministry, Lovesick in town. And they had a great clothes closet, but it's time for them to move on, and that's where the remainder of these clothes came from.
Okay, really?
And yeah, they had enough. There was that was 4 bags.
This is a good sized house.
Yeah. It's this was an add-on, you know.
Yeah.
So this is the exterior, brick wall right there, and it's all going to be exposed eventually, you know.
Nice common room for everybody.
Yeah, it's the
You
praise
play-
and worship room being developed.
You play some chess?
Yeah, I love chess.
I love chess too.
Hey, yeah, right on. It's a good game.
It's so fun.
Been trying to teach Walker a little bit, but
It's a good game to learn.
yeah.
I love to
Big
play.
man's game. Yeah, it's like this. Like the air conditioning. This is all isolated from the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice, but see an archaic system, older than probably all of us put together.
Really?
I don't know, but maybe I'm pushing it there with my age.
Oh, wow.
But we.
Whose pup is that?
That's my.
Oh, it is?
Hey, buddy. I know you don't know him yet. It's okay. Yeah, he's like I want to
Cute
know.
dog?
Hey, he's a good boy. He was rescued from Olson.
Really? Okay.
One of our brothers chasing him with a machete.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
what happened?
It was kind of just chasing him with a machete. It's one of our
Wow.
brothers. He was just spun up on the ice. You know?
Wow.
It's like, dude, it's brother Travis.
Wow.
It's he's one of the kind of peacekeepers in Tent City.
Yeah.
Tent City? Where's Tent City?
Tent City's over, what street would that be? 12th, 13th, and Echo, E.
Okay.
Yeah, right across the street from the Salvation Army that's not open.
Right, yeah.
You know, they're about to tear it down and hopefully get one rebuilt. But Tent City's right across the street, you know, and it's pretty sporty over
Okay.
there. So we January, was our first time in here.
Yeah.
So it was just, having to get firewood and all this because that's what heats this.
And how do you guys bring people over to the ministry house?
Well, right now we haven't. They usually have vehicles, or I'm usually bringing them over.
Yeah.
Like one right now, I'm working with dear brother Jerry Carr, which he's a bro. We met like in 8th grade, and he just lost his older brother, and he lost his dad 2 years ago, and so he's we come over, we sat over there, and we spent an afternoon together going,
Yeah.
getting down to it, and trying to. So it's kind of this house. It's kind of like it's his right now, It's like.
Yeah.
Like whatever you need, man. Like
It's nice.
how can we help, but yet not enable.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's kept up around here. It looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's great.
That's
I know you were working on it for a long time when we were
Oh,
buying your house. You
yeah,
were,
man. Like
Yeah.
this has been a.
project.
The Lord showed me something like I guess it was probably 3 years ago. I was over in the backyard at that house, and one of my morning little things. I spent most of my time in the backyard over there. Where I saw this like dome-looking thing, and they were red, and they popped up around like in the straight line around town, and then one started to develop, but it was closer and it wasn't red, but the other ones were starting to like go away from red to blue.
Yep.
But the one that was in the foreground was blue, and through time and resistance for me,
Yeah.
learned it was this place.
Oh.
I'm like, oh. So I had tenants here, and I had a rental company managing it, and,
Okay.
I was trying to be hands off,
Yeah.
And then this one couple from Kansas that came in, they were starting to have some problems over here. Some more physical problems, but it was all rooted in spiritual
Yes.
problems, right?
Right.
And so I came over and I saw a lot of sex ritual magic,
Oh, okay.
and remnants of it here and there,
Yeah.
And so we started exploring it a little bit. They didn't really know what was going on, but they're still swimming in it, or
Yeah.
the wife is, the father's finally come back to who he is,
Yeah.
like, you're not her, you're him.
Yeah.
This one here stood up, boom, got right in my face. And the one that I knew, and he was bald, his hair was shaved, and it was like, see the bones? Ugly. And all he said, he got in my face.